What's up, adventurers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the cost of living for you and us here in Korcha, Albania. Let's go.
But before we start the video, please make sure you're subscribed to our channels to stay up to date when new videos are uploaded.
Right guys, so we're starting off this by breaking it down into 6 easy to understand kind of different levels for you guys in terms of cost of living. So we have rent, we have gym, we have food, utilities, transport and SIM cards. So I'm going to start off the video here with rent. Now for this apartment, we're staying in a 2-bedroom apartment right now. It's costing us €230 for the month. Now something that we want to add in here and maybe a little bit of a tip or a trick for any of you guys that are watching this video is book on Airbnb on the monthly option. If you are going to stay here in Korcha for 1 month, make sure to check out Airbnb and the options that they have. Because if you click onto Airbnb and you go night by night, it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you book 1 month as a whole. Check it out if you do get the chance, because when you do go onto Airbnb itself and you click to stay for an entire month in a particular city, such as Korcha, you will often get 25 all the way up to sometimes 75 or even 80% discount on the monthly rate of an apartment, which is absolutely fantastic. This apartment here, for example, that we booked for €230 a month was typically over €1,000 a month for 2 people to stay here. So we got around 75% discount just because we decided to stay here for the month. And that includes all of our utilities. It includes water, it includes electricity, and we even have very strong Wi-Fi included in that cost. So number 1 is rent. We're paying €230 a month. That varies obviously for anywhere between €200 to €450 a month, depending on how luxurious you want your apartment to be and what your own standards are, of course, as well.
Something to add as well in terms of renting places is that if you're looking to stay, for example, on a weekly basis, like 1 or 2 weeks only, it is better in Albania in general, I'd say, to look at guest houses, because usually you would get a guest house in between like 20 to maybe €40, depending on your own standards. But usually there's breakfast included, versus Airbnb would be about the same price, but there's obviously no room service or no breakfast and nothing like that included. And if you're looking to stay, for example, in Korcha for longer than a year, it makes the most sense, I'd say, to talk to an agency, because you get a lot of discount the longer you would rent an apartment. The next thing on our list would be the gym. We decided to go with the Power Gym here in Korcha because we asked around a few different gyms and it just seemed like that gym fits our needs the most, because we are predominantly into weightlifting, and the other gyms were a little bit more expensive and they kind of had stuff that we don't really need, to be honest. So the Power Gym costs us 4,000 lek in total. That is 2,500 lek for Luke because he's male, and 1,500 lek for me because I'm female.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
Per month, and that comes down to a total of €32.89 per month. If you're just looking to go on a day-to-day basis for a couple, it would be 350 lek.
Number 3 is food, my favorite.
Get in my belly!
On average, for us, we spend typically around 1,500 lek per day. Now that comes out to around 12 to €13 depending on the conversion rate, but 1,500 lek typically sorts us out. Now you can obviously spend a lot more than that if you do have higher expectations of a certain place, or just higher standards in general. If you do want to go out to restaurants every day, for example. Now we do go out to restaurants every day with 1,500 lek. Typically for lunch, we go to a local place here called the Grill Vasport, where you can get like doner kebabs, you can get grilled meats. And that still is included in that 1,500 lek a day. And then typically we will make our own dinner at night. And that really covers us. 1,500 lek really covers all of that cost. Like you can get yourself a kilo of rice for as little as 65 to 70 lek. You can get a kilo of penne pasta or half a kilo of penne pasta for 2 people for typically around 60 to 80 lek as well. You can get a jar of tomato sauce to go with that pasta as well for around 100 to 150 lek. So incredibly cheap, incredibly easy to afford options are there for you when it comes to food. And like I said, if you do want to spend more money, the options are there for you as well. There's plenty of fancy restaurants that you can go out to, and the food is still typically going to be quite a lot cheaper than the rest of Europe, for example, like Germany, Ireland, the UK, for example. You are going to still pay quite a bit less in these fancy restaurants, and you're going to get just as much, if not better quality food as well. So in terms of food, you're perfectly fine between anywhere from 12 to 25 euro a day, and you'll be absolutely satisfied with what that can get you. Now, of course, you can spend a lot less if you do just go to the local suppliers of fruit and vegetables. There's plenty of places all around Kortrijk where you're going to find locals that are selling their own produce to you. You can find fresh fruit, fresh vegetables for incredibly cheap and incredibly reasonable prices. So that's a fantastic addition there to add onto this little segment. Now, in total, we've worked out that throughout the entire month of us being here, if we do spend between 12 to 13 euro a day like we are so far, we're going to spend a total of around 370 to 380 euro for the entire month on food.
Now, our next segment is utilities, or a little bit of miscellaneous goods, I'd say. Around Kortrijk, you do find loads of Euro stores, or which would be a Dollar Tree, for example, in the States, where you can find kind of your coffee makers, maybe a French press, or pots and pans, mugs, depending on what it is you need for your apartment. Just as an example, we got ourselves a large coffee maker.
Would you look at that?
For us in the morning, and we just spent like 1200 lek, I think, on this one. But just because it's a large one, you can get the smaller ones for anywhere between 400 to 600 lek maybe. And also here in Kortrijk, you do find a drugstore called Rossmann. It's a German chain, where you do find more kind of Central European types of brands, if that is something that you need for your day-to-day life. So in total, I would say for the utility segments, we spent 20 euro for the entire month. We've been here 3 weeks so far, and in total, with shower gel, with your washing up liquid and everything that you might need, you're absolutely covered with 20 euro.
Segment number 5, guys, is going to be transport. Now, this is super important if you do want to see other places around Kortrijk while you are staying here in Kortrijk. There's plenty of options. You have a giant bus terminal actually just here, perfectly situated for you in Kortrijk, and you have plenty of small local buses that will take you around to places like Voskopoje, Darda, Bobostice, places like that you are really going to want to see while you are staying here in Kortrijk, and they're going to cost you anywhere from 100 to 400 lek. And realistically, when you are staying here in Albania, most buses are never going to cost more than 900 lek. Just depends on how far it is that you want to go.
Our last segment today for the living costs in Kortrijk is going to be SIM card.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Because if you do have, for example, a Central European SIM card or maybe a US American SIM card, and you don't necessarily have a provider that covers Albania as well, you do have to get one here. And I think the best one that we found so far was the Vodafone offer. They have an offer for 1500 lek for 21 days, and you do get 20 gigabyte for that. That's about 12 euro and 30 cents.
All right, guys, so that pretty much covers it. That's 6 kind of different segments for you guys, just to give you an idea of how much the actual cost of living would be for you and for us here in Kortrijk. For us, in total, we've worked out that for the entire month, we're going to be spending 700 euro for 2 people. That's for me and Naomi. So 700 euro, incredibly affordable, absolutely achievable for anybody that is looking to maybe move here as an expat, maybe move here just to stay here for maybe a month or 2. So absolutely very much affordable and very budget friendly. And it's a beautiful place. Kortrijk itself is a fantastic city full with incredible things to do and incredible things to see as well.
We do have to add though that you can always obviously go a lot higher in terms of prices and also a lot lower. So it always depends on your subjective standards and what you're looking to do around Korcha. So if you're going out to the fanciest restaurants every day, it will be a lot more. But if you do like to cook at home, for example, it will be a lot less.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. Something to take into account as well, guys, is people's salaries. So we are here in Albania. Albania, typically the salary is pretty low for the people that are living and working here in Albania. For example, we met a waiter not that long ago in Berat in Albania, and he said that he works full-time at a restaurant as a waiter, and he typically earns at the end of the month around 150 euro. Now, that makes this situation a lot less affordable, obviously. And that's why we're saying you can do things a lot cheaper here as well if you are going to be living here in Albania. And you can make the cost of living fit your standard of living as to what sort of money you have coming in each month. For example, that waiter that we did meet, he said that he is definitely able to live month to month with what he's earning. He does make obviously tips as well from the restaurant income, so that's perfectly fine. But something that we do want to make very clear here in this video is that Albanian people and the people of Albania, they deserve a lot more for what they're doing and for how much they are working per month. Because the cost of living, it can be sometimes a little bit expensive for someone who is earning such a low income. Now obviously there's different tiers and people earn different incomes, so there are some people that are making a lot more money than that here in Albania, I'm sure. The same everywhere else in the world. America, Ireland, Germany, people make different amounts of money, so there's no one typical standard. But overall, Albanians and people in Albania, they are typically earning a little bit less than most Europeans do. So keep that in mind, guys, when you are looking at Albania as an alternative.
So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button. We're currently on the road to 1000 and it genuinely means the world to us. Give this video a thumbs up, and that's it from us, guys.
Yes, guys, absolutely. So we are Nalu Adventures, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye!
Bye-bye.